Hey mamas, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kate Santana. I'm a wife and a mom of almost 3-year-old Olivia Joy and almost 6-month-old Eden Elizabeth. And so as you can tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about activities you can do with your 6-month-old-ish, give or take a few months on either side, that align with Montessori. So the first thing that's very big in Montessori is shelf work. I'm going to try to show you some videos, although when I had my camera out, Eden was not at all interested in her shelf work. She just wanted the camera, which you will see. However, we have Eden's toys now on shelves for her at various places around our home where she can pull them off. She's actually scooting now, so she kind of pulls herself over and pulls things off the shelf to play with them. I can also sit her up because she can sit up unassisted now. However, I tend to either put pillows behind her or I sit behind her just in case and allow her to pull things off of the shelf. If I leave her in the room by herself for a few minutes in order to do something in the kitchen, she always pulls herself over to a shelf and tries to take down whatever is on there. So it's a really good start to shelf work that will last them for years in Montessori. This is really the time when they can start engaging with that shelf work and you can start rotating toys in and out for them. And so that is the first suggestion for starting off at 6 months with Montessori. The second suggestion kind of goes along with it, and that is just continuing to encourage freedom of movement. You do not want your child buckled into anything unless it is absolutely necessary, like a car seat. Maria Montessori doesn't even really suggest stroller rides so much, although that's more once they can walk. They should be walking, so Eden is buckled into a stroller sometimes when we are out, but oftentimes I will hold her or bring a blanket along with me so that she can get down. Like if we're at the park, I can lay her on the blanket while Olivia goes on the swings, or there's a park we go to where it's not mulch, it's just sort of like a padded surface for the ground, and oftentimes I'll just put Eden right on there while Olivia plays so that she gets that freedom of movement. That also applies at home, where the majority of the time that she is awake, she is either engaging with me or my husband, like in our laps and playing with us, and we're like blowing raspberries on her and things like that, or she is on the floor moving around, learning about her body and learning how to move. We don't do walkers, we don't do like chairs that have her sit up or anything like that. She is just on the floor. The next thing is that this age is really great for her to start to learn about cause and effect. So one way that we do this is like she will see a tower with a few blocks built on it that either I will build or Olivia will build, and she will knock it over and like get really surprised, like what happened? So any toys where cause and effect happen, there's this little Bobble Toy that she hits and it kind of like rolls everywhere. Her interlocking discs roll, balls roll, things that shake and make noise. Anything that's sort of surprising when it comes to a toy is really good for her to start to learn cause and effect. Something else you can do at this age is actually use their hand to have you, or have them help you like turn on and off a light switch so they can see, wow, this switch, like the room is going dark and then light, dark and then light. Or certain buttons, like on a microwave. We don't really use our microwave, but if we did, I'm trying to think of certain buttons that you can press with them. But if there's any buttons that you're pressing on anything, even a camera, have them press the button to see it turn on and off. That's very interesting for them at this age to be learning about the world around them. Next, as always, is to follow the child. So you want to see what they're interested in. What schema are they in right now? Do they like knocking things over, which is where Eden is at right now? Do they like, pretty soon they'll start with the pincher grasp. Do they like mouthing things? Do they like putting things in their mouth, pulling on things? Do they like toys with wheels and pushing them back and forth? Things like that. So you want to notice what your child is interested in and provide those toys for them on their shelf. Next is realistic books. If you haven't started books yet, 6 months is a perfect time to start. It's really important to read to your child every day and to show them books. I like the Love Every books because they are not just realistic. They're actual photographs of people, and that is the best type of book in my opinion, and that's what Montessori says as well. If you're going to do a book that's drawings, try to make sure that they're not cartoonish and that they're not fantasy, but they are very realistic, because your child is trying to figure out the world around him or her right now, and they don't want, or it's too much for them to also try to figure out fantasy. So you really just want to show them books that help them to figure out the world around them, because they haven't gotten that figured out yet, before you start adding in things that are not real. And then last but not least is some toy suggestions for this age. So again, like I said, blocks, wooden blocks I think are great, especially if you can build a small tower for them and they can knock it over and practice with things like that. The Bobble Toy from Love Every is amazing. I'm sure you can find one not in Love Every, but I really suggest the 5 and 6 month Love Every kit, because a lot of their toys are really awesome for this age. The interlocking rings again is really good for even like learning the hand-to-hand transfer, which she is starting to get to around this age, and they will master in a few months, is basically transferring a toy from one hand to the other hand. The interlocking rings is really great for that, and that's why that's considered a Montessori toy. And then things that are visually interesting, including different textures. So textures that crunch, Olivia's tutus are an interesting texture for Eden, so she likes touching those. She likes touching things that are hard, soft, smooth, rough. Just introducing different textured toys is really important at this age as well. Eden loves, when we are outside, pulling up grass and touching the grass. Like if she is on the middle of a blanket, she will pull herself to the end. She will do whatever she can to get to the grass and touch it. So she's very interested in things feeling differently. And then actually bonus item that is, I know I said the toys was last, but bonus item is just social interaction with your child, having conversations with them, repeating sounds back to them. I don't know if you can hear in the background or not Eden saying mama, but for the past 3 days she's been saying mama, mama, mama. And so we're constantly saying that back to her, so she gets the hang of it and she loves the social interaction. So lots of eye contact with your child, lots of talking to them, explaining what you're doing to them, just lots of kisses and cuddles and making them giggle, tickling them. All of those things are super important for their development as well. So it's pretty simple, the things that you can do with your child at 6 months to get them into the Montessori world. Really, for me, I think Montessori picks up a lot once they become mobile. So once they start walking, somewhere around a year, give or take a few months, that is when Montessori really becomes like amazing. So right now you're really just focusing on the toy selection, the shelf work, the interaction with them, and allowing them to be free to move, not putting them in baby containers. And what was the last thing I was just gonna say? Oh, and realistic books. So I hope that this was a helpful list and that it seems really manageable and not something crazy that you have to go out and do this like very intricate thing to introduce Montessori. It's really pretty simple once you know the principles. If it was helpful, go ahead and like and comment. That helps my channel so much to grow. And if you haven't already, subscribe and stick around for more videos. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you soon. Bye.